Hello, Inspired Tribe, and welcome back to Inspired by Jerica Brochet. This is part 2 of the how I use and how I work with the Spread Crafters Oracle. So in part 1, I did a flip through of the cards, and I gave you guys a sample reading of how I use the cards in conjunction with tarot. So in part 2, we're going to do a quick flip through of the expansion pack, the change expansion pack. As you learned in part 1, there are two, Quest and Change, and I currently only own the Change expansion pack. So we're going to quickly flip through those, and then I will insert the clip where I was working with both the Change expansion pack and just the original Spread Crafters Oracle together to work through some of my own personal shadow work. So I hope you guys enjoy that. It'll be probably an awkward little transition, but you'll know as soon as we're done flipping through the cards, you will see the insert for the other video. I hope you enjoy. See you at the end. All right, you guys. So now I've switched over to the Spread Crafters Change Expansion Pack deck. And again, this deck is basically just an extension of the original deck, okay? But it does focus and gives a deeper dive into shadow work. So with this deck, you only have 3 categories, okay? You have the shadow work category, the flux category, and then you have a call to action. So again, we're gonna go through each card really quickly. Again, you can always pause if you want to read what's on the cards. And then I am going to show you guys how I use both of the decks together for shadow work and just how I personally utilize this deck. So, starting with the first category here, shadow work, alienation, bypassing, rage, oppression, intolerance, silence, prejudice, judgment, polarization, exploitation, and revenge. Ooh, these are heavy, guys. Ooh, these are heavy. And again, the purpose of that particular category is to capture our common ego triggers. So these words, these terms are supposed to trigger you in some sort of way. It's supposed to get a reaction out of you so that you can begin to explore what's behind that, okay? The next category we have is the flux cards, and the flux cards are basically like they're overarching concepts that govern our worldview, and so we want to shift those views depending on the context that we are using them in and the relationship that we have to them. So kicking us off here, we have justice, freedom, stereotype, bias, education, legacy, diversity, acceptance, consciousness, power, progress, norm, and privilege. Ooh, I know I keep making those noises, you guys, but oh my gosh, these are so loaded. Oh, and if I didn't point out, you have a silver edging. Isn't that beautiful? Hopefully the camera's picking that up. Yeah, these are very thought-provoking words, you guys. Terminology. Oh my goodness. All right. And then as with the Spread Crafters Oracle deck, the original deck, you have a call to action section. And again, call to action basically is just supposed to have words to help you create some sort of momentum. How are you going to move forward? Channel some sort of intention for yourself. So we have listen, defend, dismantle, reciprocate, scrutinize, initiate, champion, engage, empathize, harmonize, validate, speak, rebel, inspire, inspired by Jerica Brochet, impact, reform, reclaim, amplify, connect, and hold space. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. I love these. I love these. Okay, you guys, so now I am going to clear the table here and I'm going to go ahead and set up a spread that I did for myself, and then I will walk you guys through how I sort of processed and set up the cards and sort of moved from one category to the next category and how I chose the cards that I chose. No, I did not just shuffle the different categories and then just pick one. I was a little bit more intentional about how I use the deck. Not that there isn't any intention if you do utilize it that way. I just personally did not. So give me 1 second. I'll be right back and I'm going to set up the spread for you guys. Okay, so I just want to video record this because I feel like I got really good revelation from it and I don't want to forget, because I'm trying to learn different ways to use the Spread Crafters cards along with so it's the Spread Crafters cards along with the Spread Crafters Change expansion pack. So all the cards from here all the way over and down, all of these are from the Spread Crafters Change deck. And what I found interesting was these 5 are the shadow work cards that the names really stirred my spirit in some sort of way. And in the Spread Crafters Oracle, which is this one, that deck has shadow cards too, which are these 5. So fear, wound, sabotage, upbringing, shame. And so I initially was trying to figure out what was the difference between the shadow work cards from the regular Spread Crafters Oracle versus the shadow work cards from the Spread Crafters Change expansion. And what I realized for me is that the cards that I tend to have pulled from the Spread Crafters Change Oracle, the shadow work cards I really felt were done to me versus the shadow work cards from the regular Spread Crafters Oracle I felt I struggled with. And what helped me come to that realization was the hearts, the way that she uses the hearts in the deck. So she explains in the quick start guide that the full heart symbol poses a question to prompt you to own your personal triggers and shadows, while the clear heart symbol asks a question to help you heal and clear your heart space of the shadows that you've experienced from others. And so Prejudice was definitely one. Feeling like, how have I been subjected to prejudice? What needs to be acknowledged? How can I heal that part of myself? Polarization. Feeling like I've been subjected to the inflexibility of others' beliefs. Exploitation. Having that lack of boundaries of what can I do? What do I need to do to begin to protect my resources and reclaim my power? Just feeling like I've been used. Judgment, which pretty much speaks for itself. That harsh criticisms or toxic attitudes. I will say this is the one card that I do feel like I have had my own issues with. I wouldn't really judge somebody outside of my own mind, but my private thoughts. If anything, out of these 5, the judgment one is the one that I do feel like, okay, that one may apply more to the outputting of judgment more so than what it's been done to me. And then silence. How and why have you chosen to remain silent? Feeling like you can't speak up, and feeling like your voice has been repressed. So those are the 5 that I feel like I have experienced from other people. And so then in the booklet, you are recommended to then look at the call to action cards and to choose the ones that make you feel expansive. And so it's almost kind of like the antidote. So these were the cards that spoke the most to me. Wanting to be validated, wanting to have the same type of energy of love reciprocated back to me. Holding space because you want to be able to go to somebody and talk to somebody that without judgment and with acceptance, and for them to understand you. Empathy, being able to share your feelings and people can empathize with what you're saying. Inspiring people is a big thing for me. Speaking, so using your voice. So it's the opposite of the silence card. Speaking, defending, to protect and resist a breach of a boundary. So this goes back to the exploitation card for me. And then reclaim, to recover your voice, your narrative, your agency, to restore power and bring balance. So these cards, according to the booklet, are supposed to show you where your wounds can have healing messages for you, and how your light can show up in the world. So this shows where I can embody these things to offer other people because of the wounds that I've experienced. So that's that portion. So then over here with the regular Spread Crafters Oracle, so these 5, fear, wound, sabotage, upbringing, and shame, are the shadow areas that I feel like I struggle with. And so what I did was I took the light work cards from that deck to see what would, in order to heal these 5 areas, what cards represent what I feel like I need to overcome it. So starting with shame, I feel like self-love would be the cure for that. And that is to be accepted for who you are, to love on yourself, validate yourself, and extend love to yourself. I think that would help with shame, because shame is that feeling of unworthiness and feeling unwanted, or feeling like there's parts of you that are unredeemable or bad. And so with self-love, accepting myself, acknowledging who I am, and validating myself, I think will cure that. Upbringing, the limiting beliefs or values that were taught and resulted in unresolved traumas. For me, the antidote to that, or the cure for that, would be truth. So yeah, there's what you learned in your upbringing and the beliefs and values that come along with that. But what does your truth tell you? What does my truth tell me? And then to take it a step further for this particular card for the upbringing, I feel like I need courage as well, because I have to have the courage to recognize the truth, to walk in the truth, and to have the courage to combat the limiting beliefs and values that I grew up with, and to have the courage to conquer my fears and to have the bravery to walk in my truth versus just what I learned in my upbringing. So next is sabotage. I do feel like I struggle with self-sabotage, and I feel like the cure for that is victory. So I wouldn't be sabotaging myself if I felt that validation, if I knew what affirmed me, if I knew that I could win, if I knew that I would come out on top, then I wouldn't self-sabotage, because I would know that victory is mine and that I could be victorious. For the wound, I have been hurt in the past, and recognizing those wounds, some of them are still open, and what needs to be healed. And I believe wholeness will help with that, because it's asking, what is the part of you that feels separate and disconnected from love? What is already whole within you? And how can you create a sense of wholeness within yourself right now? And I think working on my wounds and healing my wounds will give me that sense of wholeness. And then my last shadow category is fear. What am I afraid of? What is that worst case scenario? What do I perceive that worst case scenario to be? And what is triggering and dysregulating to my nervous system? And I have 2 cards for this one. I think that the cure to my fear is purpose. Feeling like I have a sense of purpose and knowing that I'm here for something special. And then the affirmation piece is understanding, what is the truth that I need to hear? What is it that I need to affirm that's going to cancel out or combat the fear? And what will create inspiration and resonance within you? And I think that will help to cast out that fear. So I really like the way that all of that kind of worked together. And so then I took it a step forward further with the call to action cards. The call to action cards from the regular Spread Crafters Oracle. So the call to action cards from this deck. And I separated it over here into categories, because in this deck, the call to action cards have subcategories. And so the cards, I didn't choose by subcategory. First, I just chose the cards that I felt like would propel me forward. So not only am I understanding the cure, the opposite of what I need to experience from the hurt, but I'm also understanding the action that I can take in order to achieve these things right here. And so I just chose the cards first, and then once I chose them, and I chose them based off just the names and how they made me feel. And then I went through and I separated it by their subcategories. So the most from the cards that I resonated with came from the expansion category. So I feel like first and foremost, I need to heal, to mend, and to tend to my wounds and relieve pain. Then I feel like I need to release and purge, to let go, say goodbye, set free, to destroy, cleanse, and purge and renew so that I can transform. Once I've done releasing and purging, I need to forgive. And this is to make peace, to forgive myself as well as forgiving others, and to let go. Once I've done that, then I can align and love. So I can then connect deeply to return to my course and to get back on track with where my purpose is and living in my truths. And then I can show love and tenderness to others and be willing to connect to others in another way, and being able to love people outside of their shortcomings. So I feel like this category would be first for me. Next is the processing category. And so first, I feel like defining is important for me. I need to define what things mean and what they don't mean for me, not by what was defined from my upbringing, but being able to define, because I've already released and purged. So now I need to define what's me and what isn't me to help create meaning for myself. Then I need to accept those definitions. So whatever I define for myself, I need to accept it and be okay with it. So if I define that I need to operate a certain way, understanding my triggers, knowing my boundaries, then I can accept it. Like, well, this is just how I am. This is what works for me right now. And then be able to own it and be okay with it. And then I need to integrate that. Once I've accepted it, integrate it into my life so that I can make whole, which wholeness is one of the cards that I felt like would be the cure to my wounds to begin with. So by integrating the things that I've learned and accepted and defined for myself and integrating it, I feel like I can be myself more authentically. Then I want to honor those changes that I've made. And this is from the boundary category. So I have 3 cards from the boundary category. So respecting myself, to align with my integrity, honoring what I'm saying my yeses are, honoring what I'm saying my nos are, and being able to affirm what those nos are. Then expressing it. So once I've honored it, so I've accepted it, I'm integrating it. Now I got to express it. I got to be able to feel comfortable communicating it and allowing my truths to flow through and to assert it in any space that I'm in, to be able to remain honest and confident with who I am, where I am, and what I'm doing. And then the last category is success. Success for me is committing, being able to devote myself or pledge myself or be persistent in something, to not give up, to commit to this whole idea of healing, and to stay committed to my healing as it evolves. And then I will be able to support not only myself, but to support others and to hold space for them, as well as being able to guide and teach, enlighten, coach, and educate others. So that's really interesting, especially to see some of the words like support and hold space and guide, because like I mentioned with this section over here, these are supposed to be how my light can show up in the world for others. And hold space is one of the cards that I chose. By being able to love, I can take that energy and reciprocate it, by the affirmation and being able to define and accept who I am. That will help me to be able to validate others and to be able to empathize with them. And also me being able to walk in supporting and guiding others is going to help me to inspire them. Defending, those were the boundaries. So the honor, the express, the asserting, that's me being able to defend myself and being able to inspire others to defend themselves. And then the reclaiming, I feel like reclaim was the processing category, defining, accepting, and me integrating it. And then speaking, that goes back to speaking my truths. Understanding what my truths are, having the courage to speak up about them, and really committing to my truth and my journey and being okay with it. So this spread, as you can see, is pretty big. The way that I spread out all the cards, but the revelation that I feel like I got is just like, this is awesome. This is helping me to get my thoughts out and to organize them in a way that I can always refer back to, which is the purpose of me recording this, so that I can refer back to it. So this is good. I'm happy I got to start my morning off like this. All right, you guys, that is it. You guys have been able to see how in this video I sort of walked myself through using the deck. As you can see, this go round I did not use tarot cards. And guys, this video is literally about a year old. So I have really perfected working with the cards in this way, and I find it to be really beneficial, very thought-provoking, great for journal prompts. I mean, you've heard all the benefits in part 1, but yeah, if you are interested in purchasing the Spread Crafters Oracle, you can check the description box. I'll have the links there. Currently, the main deck is $65 US, and then the expansion decks are $35 each. Or you can get her full throttle bundle, which is currently at $111. Okay, that's the current price. And if you get the bundle, I do believe that she offers free shipping, at least as of the time that I am recording this video. But that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that this has been helpful to you. I hope that if you do own either of these decks, any of these decks, that I've inspired you to work with it a little bit differently. And yeah, that's it for this video. If you like my content, if you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing to my channel. Definitely like this video, share it, and leave me a comment in the comment section below. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.